Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.
Hello learners, welcome. One of the biggest problem which I see in society with respect to stock market is people have lot of stocks in their portfolio. And inevitably, people keep on accumulating stocks because there are neighbors, there are so-called analysts, and there are so many people in our life who are constantly bombarding us with new stock ideas. I met someone a couple of days ago and the person came to me. He had 40 stocks in his portfolio. And the funny part is that the last 20-25 stocks, which are very low value investments, they're just there because he was impulsive in buying those stocks. I gave a recommendation to that person and I want to share that recommendation with all of you. I told him that if you have 40, 50, 60 stocks in your portfolio, you will not be able to generate wealth for yourself. Okay. At some point of time, you have to consider or reconsider bringing your stock portfolio to 20, 25 stocks only. And that too, if you have reasonable capital. If you have only limited capital, say you are trading or investing with a capital of 5 lakh, 10 lakh, then obviously you cannot invest in 25 stocks. You can max invest in 10 stocks or 12 stocks or 15 stocks. Having said that, that person who came, he actually had quite a large portfolio, but 40 stocks, even if it's a large portfolio, is it worth it? Are you able to maintain? And the funny part is that the bottom end of that stock portfolio, the value was quite less. In fact, most of his value, the 80% of his value was actually in his top stocks, which is always the case. But having said that, we don't know. Maybe the bottom stocks become top stocks over a period of time, and that is what it could have happened with him. What I'm trying to say is that managing your stock portfolio is a very, very important part of stock market wealth creation. And if you're just building stocks without thinking about exiting stocks or managing them properly, then somewhere you are missing an important opportunity to generate good money from market. So I suggested him something which I want to share with you. And this is very, very important because finally, stock market is not just about doing intraday trading or short-term trading, etc. The bigger purpose of stock market is wealth creation by participating in the right businesses which you think are the businesses you would like to invest in. All right. So let's do the screen sharing. You look at me, I look at the screen, and then we discuss how to look at it. Now, I'm going to take an example of, say, one of my watch lists which I have created in StockEdge. So here it is, StockEdge. Let's go to watch list. And let's go to this watch list, say Alpha 2020, say for example, this watch list. And assume that I have these stocks in my portfolio. Some stocks have done good, some stocks have done bad, etc., etc. That's a different story. But let's assume that I have these stocks in my portfolio. Now, what I recommended to that person is, first of all, you need to understand how the business is doing, whether that business is worth my attention or not, right? And second is how the price is doing and whether there is enough strength in the price that I would continue to invest in the stock, right? Let me repeat that. How the business is doing and how the stock price is doing, because both together actually creates magic. In my language, if I have to use some technical language, how the earning momentum is there, how the price momentum is there, combining both gives me wealth momentum in my life. Okay, so say these are the stock portfolio which are, and you can add your own stock portfolio in my portfolio section of StockEdge, where you can download, you can have an account aggregator, whatever you want to do. But let me just restrict myself to watch list right now, because the difference between watch list and stock portfolio is that watch list is you are not putting quantity, etc. You can have multiple watch lists and you are tracking individual watch lists based on your objective, whereas portfolio is actually your investment which you have done reality or maybe mock investment, whatever you are. So let's go to this stock list. There is a section which we have introduced recently. The latest version of StockEdge now has this section, and which is very, very useful. You go to fundamental score tab of this and you look at this. Time Technoplast, example, 91 score. JK Tire 78 score. Craftsman 71 score. SPR Auto 70. So these are the stocks which are strong, right? Because they have shown strength fundamentally over a period of time. You see the filter here? Let me remove this filter. So these are the cumulative, all the stocks where fundamental score is right here in front of us. Now, how do I judge these stocks? How do I use it for participation? First thing first, if the fundamental score is red, I am not interested in holding this stock, come what who told me to buy. Okay. If it is green, that's my sign of comfort. If it is yellow or orange, whatever the color is, then I will be mindful that fundamental is not as great, but if the price momentum is there, I may be willing to participate. Now let's go to the momentum score. Wow, look at this momentum score. So these are the stocks where momentum is there. This stock, there is no momentum, it's red. And as far as fundamental score is concerned, let me just check the fundamental score. Let's go to Swan Corp. I'm just giving an example, okay? Don't take it as a stock recommendation. Let me see if there is fundamental score available. No, fundamental score is not available because the data is not sufficient for our algorithm to calculate the fundamental score. Well, in that case, you will have to read a lot about that company, how the company is doing, etc., to make a judgment. Fundamental score is a very simplified form of algorithm which has taken a lot of fundamental data and tried to come out with a score which is nearest to what you would like the company to be shown. So these are the stocks where if it is green, you continue with those stocks, and if the momentum is also green, that's the place where you would like to be in. So what I suggest is go to the that's what I said to him. Put all your stocks in watch list inside StockEdge and look at the scores of the stocks. Okay, those stocks where momentum score is green and fundamental score is green, those should be your top holdings. Okay, your top 50-60% holding should be only those stocks. Then second layer, it should be those stocks where fundamental score is not as green as you want it to be, but momentum score is green. Maybe that represents your tier 2 level. And last is when your fundamental score is not so good and momentum score is also not so great. I mean, both yellow. In that case, you may have to rethink whether you want to invest in those stocks or not. By doing that, he can easily reduce from 40 stocks to 20 stocks, and he can have a more focused approach in tracking his portfolio, which is a very, very vital component of understanding how wealth creation happens through stock market. I hope you understood what I'm trying to say and start using this beautiful feature which we have added. It will not just give you a peace of mind, but also a very objective way of managing your portfolio, which will help you to enter the right stock and exit the wrong stock, which you should ideally not have. Just a small caveat. There are a couple of stocks where fundamental score may not be calculated because the historical data is not available. So there you need to do your own study because fundamental score cannot cover all the stocks. Number two, there are certain limitations of data which we all have to live with it. So if you have any strong stock which is futuristic oriented, where your conviction level is very high, where the business model could be such that the history is not great, but future is potentially would be great, then that's your individual call. Because you understand that company, because you understand that opportunity, that will be your individual call that you would like to invest in that future opportunity in the company. But I strongly feel that any future opportunity should be substantiated with price action. If momentum is not there, any future opportunity is just a narrative. It's very difficult to believe that the opportunity will continue to be there. All right. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll keep on adding more value, and thank you for supporting me. Bye-bye. Jai Hind.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.